up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and you're watching the Red Cup Podcast, where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. What's up, everybody? It's your girl Mika, and we're back for another Red Cup Talks because this is where truth, pop culture, and politics meet. And I want to wish everybody a happy Thursday and a happy 4th of July, Independence Day, whatever you want to call it, okay? As long as you don't say No King's Day, because tomorrow they're planning another No King's Day protest. So I'm hoping I don't get caught up in that, all right? But thank you for pulling up, okay? I hope you enjoy your holiday weekend. And thank you to everybody in the chat that's pulling up. I see you guys trickling in. What's up, Spaces? What's up, Magnetar? What's up, your car? Yes. So we're going to get into a lot of things today because a lot of things happen. But first, I want to ask you guys what's going on your 4th of July? What are y'all doing? What y'all doing for 4th of July? Are y'all cooking out? Are you having a barbecue? Okay, because those are two different things. No, they're the same thing. But what are you guys doing? What's something significant that you're doing? Are you going away for the weekend? Because you guys have a long 3-day weekend, especially you federal workers. You guys got a long weekend. Okay, Magnetar. What's going on? What's going on, Dwayne? What's going on, Tony? What's going on, Jocelyn? Okay, y'all got a long weekend. So let me know what you guys are doing for the 4th of July. I wanted to go down to the National Mall because I'm right here in DC. I wanted to go down to the National Mall and I wanted to do a man on the street. But see, here's the thing. DC doesn't have self-defense laws, right? And so since DC doesn't have self-defense laws, if I get into any type of altercation, I can't really claim that it's self-defense, right? So you have that. And then, they're going to have a march tomorrow. So I'm thinking also, if I don't have somebody with me, I might get into a couple of scraps, right? So it's a little touch and go. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going down there yet, because if I go down there, it's going to be so many liberals. I want to do man on the street. All right. However, I'm also not trying to get punched in the face. I'm like 4 foot nothing. Okay. And I'm not fighting. Like straight from the hip. So I don't want to do that either. So I might have to stay in the suburbs. What's going on, everybody? What's going on, Robmatic? What's going on? I bet stay winning. What's going on, Eric? What's going on, Ramel? Yeah. So you guys, let me know what you guys are doing. I might just stay home because I'm not trying to get in no fights. Honestly and truly, I'm not. Would you say don't go? What's going on, Red Dragon? I want to go though. I really do. What's going on, King? What's going on, Nick? Yeah, I want to go. Like I like when liberals talk trash to me because then I get to educate them and I get to talk trash. I may go. What's up, Wheezy? Shut up, Spaces. I am short. However, yeah, I may go. I may not. It depends. But you guys let me know what you are doing and what's going to be going on special in your life for the 4th of July. What's up, Big Happy? All right. So I think it's enough of you guys already pulled up in here. Oh, man. Y'all cooking? What y'all cook? You cook the macaroni with the brick? You got the brick macaroni? Because I didn't grow up with the brick macaroni. I grew up with the Velveeta cheese macaroni. If you don't know what the Velveeta cheese macaroni is, don't worry about it. I grew up with the Velveeta cheese and the shells. Okay? Blame it on my other side. What's going on, Scoop? All right, you guys. So again, let me know what you're doing. All right. Hey, Molly. Molly, you cooking? You gonna give me something for the 4th of July? Because I don't cook out. What's going on, Donna? And thank you, Donna, for the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah. You got what, macaroni? Y'all are funny. All right, you guys. So let's get into what we're going to talk about today. But first, as always, it's Thursday. So I will be picking someone at the end of the live stream that will win my bald headed reasoning cups. Okay. That's this beautiful cup right here. All right. You will win the bald headed reasoning cup. So the best super chats, the best messages, I will pick at the end and we'll go from there. So thank you guys for pulling up. Hit the like button on your way in, like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. And be respectful in the chat. You can say what you want, even if you're a liberal, you're always welcome here. Okay. Because I like a dissenting voice. Just be respectful. Okay. That's it. All right, you guys. Let's get into it. P. Diddy. All right. So everybody knows, if you have been following everything, everybody knows that P. Diddy was found not guilty of the major charges, but guilty of the lesser charges, right? So here's the thing. He is now being, I guess, getting ready to be sentenced for that. Okay. The thing about it is, some people are torn about it. Some people want him to go to jail for the max, whatever the max is. And some people want him to be free. They were literally out there with, signs saying free Diddy and baby oil. I swear to goodness, it was funny. However, one of the people that was highly upset was Megyn Kelly. Megyn Kelly, I mean, she went off. Okay. Now, I don't know if you guys saw that, but Megyn Kelly went off. All right. And Megyn Kelly is a little bit of a feminist. Okay. She's a conservative, but she still got a little bit of feminist in her. All right. It's not a lot. It's not enough to make me not like her, but she has a little bit. However, that wasn't what I wanted to focus on, right? Everybody focused on the fact that Megyn Kelly went off. Okay. She went off because she was so upset that he was getting off. What I wanted to focus on was everything else that she said. Okay. So I want to get into what Megyn Kelly had to say. All right. Because I thought that this was pretty intriguing. Okay. And it's because Megyn Kelly, after she did her little rant, she focused on the fact that James Comey, James Comey's daughter was the prosecutor. Now, if you don't know who James Comey is, James Comey used to be the FBI director, okay? And James Comey was intertwined with the whole Hillary Clinton, Barack Obama, Epstein, Bill Clinton, all of that good stuff, all right? The laptop hunters. All right, he was involved with all of that. And his daughter just happened to be the prosecutor on Diddy's case. And I thought that was very interesting. So I want you guys to get into this and let me know what you think. Here we go.
You have this entire blackmail extortion ring. They went and raided Diddy's house. There were cameras there. We know that it involves, the higher ups in the entertainment industry, if not the world of politics as well. And this entire prosecution is reduced to P. Diddy and what we know of his abuse of Cassie and potentially Jane. And then once you flesh out the fact that for whatever the reason, Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, is still involved as one of this trial. This trial is a show trial because they're going to get him on something. It might just be the, trafficking for prostitution purposes, which seems undeniable. Send him away for 10 years. Maybe he gets out after 8. And then you've successfully covered up the entire extortion ring that P. Diddy was running, much like what they did with Epstein.
Oh, that's very interesting.
You have this entire blackmail extortion.
What do you guys think? Do you think that's plausible? Because why is James Comey's daughter on that case? Like, why was she picked for that specific case? Because you guys got to remember that since James Comey had all that Epstein cover up, okay, and then you have P. Diddy, who is implemented in the Epstein files, okay, so you have all of that, and miraculously, his daughter is the prosecutor, the lead. Is that not interesting? Okay. So I was like, okay, Megyn, you might be onto something, you and your crew. However, as I kept going on and on about Diddy this morning, another person I watched, the Benny Show, he had the same gentleman on his show. And I said, something's going on here. Everybody knows something. Okay. So I want you to see what he had to say on Benny's show. Here we go.
Why is James Comey's daughter allowed to continue a trial against, well, Epstein, Ghislaine Maxwell, Diddy? Like, what exactly is going on here? There are no coincidences in life?
There's no good excuse for it, period. Maybe the argument is you can't fire her. Some people were hypothesizing that James Comey's 86-47 stunt was to make his daughter fireproof, because if they fired her then, it would look like retaliation. The bottom line, I don't know Bondi. I don't know her personally. I didn't have any preemptive faith in her because I didn't know her like I knew Bongino and what I know of Patel. It's inexcusable. There's no good excuse for it, period. That you have Maureen Comey, James Comey's daughter, working on the Diddy file. And from what I understand, not necessarily running the best prosecution ever. The prosecution that they're running, limited to 2 defendants, his sex trafficking. Again, it's like Epstein only sex trafficked for his own personal pleasure. The cameras that were set up in Diddy Mansion apparently were only for his own sex video freak-offs for his own personal satisfaction. Horse crap. She should not be on that case anymore. It's corruption to the core, and it's inaction like that that will cause a lot of people to distrust the Bondi and the current administration, because there's no good excuse for it that I know of.
Right. Harvey Oswald's kid to work in the next Kennedy administration. Why would you let John Hinckley work for Ronald Reagan? I don't, it doesn't make any sense. It makes zero sense. Why would Donald Trump hire Matthew Thomas Crooks's, sibling or father?
The argument's going to be, it's that it's the past administration. She has a job. Maybe there's some rules for dismissal. But the bottom line is, you cannot have the Trump administration pursuing Biden-era policies or Biden-era personnel on key issues. And this is one of them. I have yet to see a good excuse for why she's still prosecuting Diddy. And my running theory is that the prosecution of Diddy is the cover-up itself, because he'll get convicted on crossing state lines with a prostitute or something. He'll go to jail for 10 years. It wraps up nice and clean, much like Ghislaine Maxwell. And lo and behold, we've got a blackmail, sex extortion, sex trafficking ring, and it was only for Diddy's personal satisfaction. I believe that as far as I can throw Thor's hammer.
So it's a cover-up for the deep state. It's a cover-up for an intel op.
That is my current opinion. I am open to being convinced otherwise, but it looks and smells like a persistent cover-up.
So as you see, he got more in depth there. I think they're on to something. And I don't know why, something just said, look deeper. All right. And that's how I found this stuff, because I'm sitting there like, why would the feds bring a case that they knew that they didn't have evidence to prosecute for the bigger charge? I've never seen that happen. Now, here's the thing. I am not a fan of Diddy, okay? I don't care for Diddy, but they did not prove that case. I said this the other day. They didn't prove it, right? They proved what what he got found guilty of. They proved that, with what, I guess they showed to the jury, and the little bit that we saw, they proved that. However, I've never seen the feds do this. They have a high success rate. And you have big, powerful people that have gone to jail. Harvey Weinstein is one of them. Epstein is another. Okay. So to me, it was just weird. It was so weird. So when I saw this, I said, oh my gosh, this is, they're onto something, right? Like, they're really onto something. So I stuck with it. I really stuck with it. I said, I like to go down the rabbit hole. So one of the last videos I'm going to show you on this, I really sat with it and I said, this actually makes sense of why Diddy would be protected. Watch, here we go.
And the reason why I would ask that is not just outlandishly. So there's a record executive named Suge Knight who has done multiple interviews saying that Diddy was a Fed and that he was an FBI agent. He knew Diddy. He was in business with Diddy, and he's currently in prison. So I'm not sure what value he would have to, to say this. I believe that he's saying this honestly, that Diddy was a Fed and that Diddy worked for the FBI, and that part of this was part of a, part of this had some type of government fingerprints on it. What do you think about that?
I don't doubt Suge Knight. I don't think he has a reason to come forward with information. I've seen Suge Knight have before some solid information about corruption, and so it's not surprising. I think there's a pattern here, though. You see Epstein, you see others. There's rumors that float around that they worked, with the government agencies at times, and I would not doubt that. I would not doubt that there were CIA operations or FBI operations that were ongoing over the many decades in which many times these individuals were operating, criminally. And you go back to Epstein, and I was flabbergasted at the deal that, my colleague and friend, Alex Acosta, the U.S. attorney at the time in Florida, offered to Epstein. I mean, the only reason that you would believe that such a deal would be granted in that kind of a case and investigation was if there was solid information. Of course, we'll never know at this point, but there had to have been some solid information about some very high level targets in order to give such a deal to an individual that was such a criminal.
So, with all three of those, I have come to the conclusion that P. Diddy knows more than, of course, he had to reveal. And then you guys remember when I think it was DHS who went into Diddy's home and took all those tapes. Now, again, if you have all of those things, how is it that you could not win this case? Right. And that's where I agree with Megyn Kelly on the whole blackmail thing, because in the entertainment industry, yes, they get something on you, and that's how they do all the blackmail stuff. We know that, right? That's already a given. However, they have all of that stuff they took from this man's house, and they couldn't get him on the RICO charge. So it just started to make me think. And so I'm going to follow this. I'm really going to start going down a rabbit hole on this because I thought this was a good start. I thought this actually made sense, right? Like I said, I don't agree with putting people in jail for something that you cannot prove that happened, regardless of how you feel about him, because I don't care for Diddy, right? But if you can't prove something, then he shouldn't go to jail for it. But it almost makes me think, did they want to send him to jail for it? Or did they want to just have something over him? So I'm going to start following this. So you guys let me know what you think about all of this down in the comment section and in the chat. What you guys think of the chat? Because I see you guys talking. Like, what do you guys think? Well, yeah. I mean, Azrael, yeah. Cassie was, also when you look at the text messages. But I think because Cassie came forward with a lot of stuff, she probably got some type of immunity or didn't have to take the stand. I don't know, right? I haven't read the transcripts on that, but that's just my educated guess. Yeah, Eric. I saw that. They were outside the courthouse dancing with the baby oil and all that. Yeah, you guys are spot on in the chat. So, it is what it is. However, I hope Kelly will help me dig. Yeah, we'll get on it. So I hope I can go down this road and just really find out, because I'm telling you, when I follow a lead, it usually leads somewhere, and somewhere good. And I think everybody here who's actually asking the correct questions, I think they're on to something. But I just wanted to go beyond what everybody else was looking at with this whole P. Diddy case. Everybody was looking at the Cassie situation. Everybody was looking at the domestic violence and all of this other stuff. And, and like I said, they didn't prove the RICO case. So it got me to thinking there has to be something more. And apparently there is. So you guys get down in the comments and let me know what you think. Do you think it's P. Diddy wanted, or was it just a cover-up for something bigger? Okay, because We know we've been having that back and forth with the whole Epstein files with the FBI. That can also be something. So let me know. All right, you guys, before we move on to the next portion, I want to read the super chat. Wheezy Unfiltered, thank you so much for the $4.99 super chat. They wanted the feds to go in and get rid of all the evidence, just like with Epstein. Where are all the tapes? But that's what I said. That's what I said. They literally came out of there with all of those boxes. They had boxes galore. Okay, they had tapes because we all we all know that he has them. Harvey Weinstein had them. Jeffrey Epstein had them. Hunter Biden had them on a laptop. He was on crack, so he left his. That's why everybody's seen his. However, everybody has them because this is what they do. But for some reason, we didn't see Diddy's. And they didn't show them in court. And we know they have them because they said they did. So I don't know. This is wild to me. But it just amazes me that the person who had those type of files before, his daughter is on the case. So thank you, Weezy, for the $4.99 super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, it's very suspect. Very suspect. But everybody wants to focus on the Cassie thing. So I think they're glad that everybody's focusing on that because he don't care. I assure you he doesn't care. All right, you guys. So let's go ahead and before we get into Donald Trump, okay? Before we get into Donald Trump, because we got a lot to cover with that and the big, beautiful bill, right? Before we get into Donald Trump, I want to get into having a word from the ratchetness herself, okay? And what she thinks about Donald Trump's bill, all right? Here we go.
Wrap up by saying this. I don't really understand what it is that y'all plan to go back and tell your constituents. I'm glad that some of y'all decided to show up, but the reality is that you have sold your constituents out for 83 people in this country. And each of our districts should have approximately 766,000 people. How is it that you can explain that we still are running up the credit card and we have nothing to show for it except for the fact that we won't have food on the tables and we won't have health care? And with that, I will yield.
Thank you.
Diabolical. All right. So you guys, Ratchet Crockett says she doesn't know how Republicans are going to go back to their districts, okay? And their constituents aren't going to have any Medicaid. You guys believe that? That their constituents won't have any Medicaid, won't have, any assurance that they won't be kicked off of Medicaid, and they won't have medical insurance, okay? So with that being said, it got me to thinking because the Democrats like to say that, oh, illegals aren't on, Medicaid, so there's no fraud, waste, and abuse, when Democrats literally said it was fraud, waste, and abuse. However, they say that illegals aren't on it, but I found it pretty weird, and I found it to be un-American, okay? That if you look here, this is the bill being voted on, okay? A portion of the bill. This is an amendment to illegals. And if you look on the screen, when I play this video, I'm going to come back and tell you what you're hearing. All right, here we go.
Okay. Yeah. On this vote, the yeas are 56, the nays are 44. 3/5 of the senators duly chosen and sworn not having voted in the affirmative. The motion is not agreed to.
So the motion that they didn't agree to was not allowing illegal immigrants to get Medicaid. That's what they agreed to. Not allowing illegal immigrants to get Medicaid. That's what they were supposed to be doing, like kicking them off. However, as you see on the screen, the nays are the Democrats. All other Democrats other than 4, okay? Because 51 Republicans voted for kicking off illegals or not letting illegals on, period. All right? All of the Democrats, except for 4, went ahead and voted to keep illegals on Medicaid. Meanwhile, simultaneously saying that there are no illegals on Medicaid. Like, you can't make this up. You cannot make this up. So either they are on Medicaid or they're not. Either they vote or illegals can't vote. Okay, and I've done plenty of videos showing you that they're on the voter rolls. However, this is what they voted on. Okay, so here's the thing. This would have passed. However, there's something in the Senate. Well, there's something in Congress called a parliamentarian. So a parliamentarian, they will go ahead and make rules and suggestions and things like that for, the House and the Senate. And for some odd reason, Senator Thune decided that it was okay to keep a Democrat on with a majority Republican. I don't know why he thought that. She decided that they needed 60 votes in order for this to pass. And as you can see, they weren't going to get 60 votes. They only had 51 if all of the Republicans vote for it. They got it, right? And they even got 4 Democrats. This would have passed. However, what ends up happening is the Republicans, because they can't get the 60, it doesn't pass. Now, the Speaker of the House can override it, but if you override it, you risk a filibuster, right? You risk having the other party, when they're in charge, you risk having them come on and say, well, since we're the majority, we're just going to overrule and pass this anyway. So they don't want to overrule it. And the Republicans they weak sometimes, so a lot of the times, okay? But they didn't want to overrule it. This was something I thought they should have overruled. Yes, Nick J, Dems always playing games. Yes. So I wanted to explain that to you because a lot of people don't know about this. And the lady that is the parliamentarian, when I tell you she is not only a Democrat, she is not elected. She is selected or appointed, however you like to call it. So nobody voted her there. She was put there. And I think it was for this reason. Now, Senator Thune is saying that he's not seeking re-election, so he don't really give a damn anyway, because he's not going to seek re-election. He doesn't like Donald Trump, so he doesn't really care. But this is why this measure did not pass. And it's wild. The entire Democratic Senate voted for this. So I bring this up and I show you this, you guys, to show you that the Democrats, they're for illegals. They're entirely for illegals. They don't care about anything remotely for the American people. Okay. So with that being said, I wanted to give you the facts on that. All right. Because you end up hearing a lot of other stuff. So let's get into the big, beautiful bill, okay, which the Democrats absolutely hate. So the big, beautiful bill passed today, all right, after TEMU Obama, Walmart Jeffries, decided to filibuster for, I got my notes right here, okay, 8 hours, 41 minutes, and 27 seconds. Is how long he filibustered for, okay? That's how long this man sat on the floor and spoke. Now, you already know he's long-winded. TEMU Obama, he's just like, it takes him forever to get to the mic. And then when he gets to the mic, he got to drink a sip of water. He got to do this. He got to do that. And then he doesn't even know what he's talking about. But he did that for 8 hours, 41 seconds and 8 hours, 41 minutes, 27 seconds, just to delay the vote. Wasting our money because they could have went home. However, that's what he did since earlier this morning. All right. And so with that being said, I want to go down this entire thing with the big, beautiful bill. Okay. And I want to start there because that's where you will find all the Democrats, all the bald-headed reasoning people, all the people that we know are habitual offenders over here at the Red Cup. Okay. You already see Dry Wig right there. Okay. She's the first one standing there beside him. All right. Dry Wig always has something to say. She's right in the front. She's like a black Nancy Pelosi. Okay. So I want you guys to see what TEMU Obama, aka Hakeem Jeffries, had to say.
On the other side of the aisle promised to address the high cost of living. Nothing in this bill will meaningfully lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. Nothing. It's incredible to me. All of the promises that were made by some people in this town. That the top priority was going to be to lower the high cost of living in the United States of America. On the other side of the aisle.
I told you, he takes forever. Just to, that clip was 33 seconds. It was like a minute. He takes forever to say absolutely nothing. Okay. I don't even know what the filibuster was about. I honestly and truly, I don't know what they filibustered. I really don't. Okay. But he didn't stop there. No, he didn't want to spare us. Thank God I don't have C-SPAN. Here's what he also had to say about, let's just watch it.
Speaker, that's not what this country should be all about. Manu wasn't the only one. The only American citizen who's been targeted by the deportation machine, a deportation machine that will be unleashed on steroids by this one big ugly bill. We know that, in fact, is the case. That's not hyperbole, Speaker.
Is he eating a mint candy? Like, that is so ratchet. That is so ratchet. I just noticed that. You can't make this stuff up, man. He's literally eating while he's talking. You can't make it up. However, what he's talking about here is the deportations, okay? And he's calling it the deportation machine. And the reason why he's calling it that, because in the big, beautiful bill, there is a lot of funding for deportations. There's a lot of funding for these facilities. And now that we have Alligator Alcatraz, okay, all right, now that we have that, we can go ahead and fund it, get them up out of here. Okay, we can go ahead and fund more ICE agents, having to go into these sanctuary cities, because you have, people like Madami, okay, the Indian Paswami up there. You have people like him up there saying, we're going to keep our sanctuary cities and we're not going to work with ICE. So you have so many people like that, like the Boston mayor, Mayor Wu, okay, Mohawk Mayor Brandon Johnson. Okay, you have him and others. All right, Karen Bass. So they need the funding, because we're gonna have to go look for people instead of you just giving the people up, or instead of us just going to the jails and getting them. However, that's what he's talking about, the deportation machines, and the big ugly bill he doesn't like is going to fund it. All right. I thought it would stop there, but it didn't. He then goes into a rant about ending Medicaid. which I don't know why they keep saying because it's not true. However, the Democrats keep saying it. Here we go.
Effectively in Medicaid as we know it, gut parts of the Affordable Care Act. What you essentially are doing by stripping health care away from the American people, effectively in Medicaid as we know it, gut parts of the Affordable Care Act. What you essentially are doing by stripping health care away from the American people, effectively.
Again, he tells another lie, all right? Because they're not cutting Medicaid. They're cutting those illegals, okay? Now, again, they didn't vote for the measure to actually go ahead and do that, all right? However, in the bill itself, they're not going to get it. They can't get on it. And so it takes away, and with all the restrictions, it takes away illegals being able to get on it, as well as lazy PB&J Americans. You know, those Americans that just want to lay on their couch and write their name on an orange juice, those Americans. It takes those Americans off because you have to volunteer, you have to go do something, get a job, part-time, something. Okay, there are people that will do absolutely nothing so they can keep it. There are people that, you know, use their kids as an excuse. Now you can't because there are restrictions on it. All right. So if you don't do it, you'll be kicked off. And that's what they're talking about. They're not talking about regular, everyday Americans that actually need, you know, this type of stuff, Medicaid, Social Security, all of that, people that actually need it, like the vets or, you know, people with autism, mental retardation, things like that. Those people are fine because they actually need it. All right. But this is how TEMU Barack, okay, TEMU Obama, Walmart Jeffries, decided to end his filibuster. And just like the rest of the Congress people on the Democratic side, they love a Negro spiritual in poetry, in song, in general. Watch.
Press on for the sick. Press on for the afflicted. Press on for the least. Press on for the lost. Press on for the left behind. Press on for the rule of law. Press on for the American way of life. Press on for democracy. We're going to press on until victory is won. I yield back.
Thank God. He has yielded. Thank God, right? Get the big happy, yeah, exactly. So that's my point. That's my point. TEMU, they all do this, okay? Al Green, Still I Rise, okay? And now TEMU Obama over here with the until victory has won. The only people that had a victory today was MAGA, but the Dems, they're delusional. That's why they're at 16%. So that was Hakeem Jeffries, okay? That was the speaker, well, the minority speaker, okay, of the House. Now, if you thought it couldn't get any more ratchet than that, or crazy, or just plain out stupid, it did, okay? We heard from your ratchetness, JASMINE CROCKETT, in the beginning. We just saw TEMU along with Madam Wig, okay, Miss Maxine Waters. And now we're going to hear from the Jenny for the Block, AOC. AOC had so much to say on the House floor, and then after it passed, she had more to say. I want you guys to hear what she had to say to ABC News about this bill. and everything in it. Here we go.
I think this is one of the saddest days in modern American history. This is the largest. Withdrawal and ending of healthcare in American history. 17 million people in our country, 17 million Americans in our country are going to lose their Medicaid. They're going to lose their ACA insurance. Small business owners are going to have their healthcare costs skyrocket, and people are going to have their SNAP and WIC cut back. People are going to go hungry. People are going to get sick on a scale unlike anything we've ever seen. And all of it is just to finance tax cuts for billionaires and the wealthiest corporations who don't even need it. I don't think I don't think we have ever seen or are prepared for how catastrophic this is set to be for a lot of people. And I think it's devastating. And they're talking about this as though it's some tax cut. Even the stuff that they're talking about, taxes on tips, no tax on tips, that's only for people, that's only up to $25,000. And if you're making less than that, you're already kind of exempt from a lot of these things in the first place. So they're giving people crumbs and they're taking away the whole loaf. And it's just a genuinely really sad day for our country.
What about Leader Jeffries' final message, looking ahead to 2026, 2028?
Well, to Leader Jeffries' message, he's right. The best thing that we can do right now is press on. And in order for us to salvage what we have and to build through, we have to chart a new course and a new path to our future. And we have to make sure that there are consequences. If you're on Medicaid, if you're on ACA, if you are on Medicare and rely on Medicaid to help with your long-term care, there has to be consequences to these votes. And we have to decide if this is just a joke or just for TV or if this is our real lives. And I hope people vote like it's our real lives.
Y'all heard Sandy. Sandy said that no tax on tips doesn't mean anything. Sandy also said that, because she used to work as a waitress, she knows more about tips than anyone, even though she was raised in Westchester County. However, Jenny from the block says she knows everything about the tax code, and it's not going to help, to have tax on tips. It's not going to help to have, no taxes on overtime because it has a cap, which it doesn't. But anywho, no tax on overtime. She just doesn't like it. She liked the no tax on tips when Gamla stole it. Okay. But for some reason in this bill, she doesn't like it, right? Former waitress doesn't like the no tax on tips because it doesn't do anything for someone with tips who lives off of tips. The woman is stupid. Okay. Sandy is just absolutely dumb. All right. AOC is just like the rest of them, just like TEMU Obama, just like JASMINE Crockett, just like any Democrat you could think about. Because here's the thing. They supported all of they would support all of these measures if it came under a Democratic president. And we know this because it has been done before. All of these things have been done before and they've been pushed back. Bill Clinton actually put restrictions on welfare. Okay. It got rolled back, but Bill Clinton did it. No problem. Nobody said it. Nobody said a thing. Republicans were with it. And the Democrats said, yeah, this was great. Now, all of a sudden it's going to hurt all Americans. It makes absolutely no sense. It doesn't make any sense. It only hurts everybody when it's Donald Trump. You can't make it up. Yeah, exactly, Azrael. Bill Clinton had way more restrictions, okay? Everything that I keep telling y'all, Donald Trump just went to the whole Democratic playbook. Because he's doing everything that's actually been done before. That's why it's hypocrisy. That's why I constantly show what's already been done. Because you can't be mad at something that's already been done. because now it's fake outrage because it's been supported already. So you would think Donald Trump would have support for it or something that Democrats could get behind. Absolutely dumb. Hey, Kelly. Hey, girl. All right. So now I want to get into a couple of other things with this big, beautiful bill. Okay. I want to move into the media's portion. Okay. But before I move into the media's portion, I want to go ahead and recognize a few super chats. All right. Broccoli Brock, thank you for the $5 super chat. Shout out to you, Mika. I can't wait to see how well these lies age in 3.5 years from now. They will not age well. Okay. They will not age well. Just like Jasmine Crockett. They will not age well. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And we have Magnetar with the $5 super chat. Thank you. It's raining cats and dogs out here. I've been here since February, and it's now only rained 5 times. By my album. Title, It Seldomly Rains in Vegas. I like Vegas. Well, I like Vegas, but I would live in like Henderson. Henderson is really nice. And thank you, Molly. I appreciate it. And you can find me and Molly on After Hours tonight over there with After Hours crew with Anton Daniels. Thank you, Molly, for the $9.99 super chat. 13K and growing. Yes, thank you. I hit 13K today. Thank you to everybody that is subscribing. I literally have been doing anywhere between 700 to 1,000 subscribers per month. But June, for some reason, I went up to more than 1,200 subscribers. So thank you guys so much. I appreciate it. And thank you, Molly. See you later, girl. All right. So let's continue with the big, beautiful bill here. Okay. Because I want to get into CNN's thoughts on the big, beautiful bill once it was done. And then we're going to get into a whole lot more. All right. Here we go. It will be nice if I pull it up on the screen. All right, you guys, here we go.
This could not be a bigger deal for President Trump and for this administration. They believe that this bill really encapsulates everything President Trump wants to do with his agenda, that his legacy is going to be sealed in some of the items that are in this bill. And that's why it was so important to President Trump to get this across the finish line. It has been something that has been weighing on the White House as they have been negotiating, having conversations, courting House members for months. I mean, I was told 2 days ago that they felt like they had these month-long relationships with House members, that they've been trying to address their problems for some time now. Now, the other problems with the bill, just to be clear, one of the other parts of this that I think might go unnoticed is how much this second term for President Trump is different than the first term. They have figured out in that 4 years that President Trump was not in office how to work the system in their favor. That was not something we saw during the chaotic first term. And, you know, in the last couple of days, we've been talking about this nonstop, this idea that, is the bill on the verge of collapse? And every time I spoke to White House officials, they said they like their odds. They think that they are feeling optimistic. And when I ask why, they just point me to what we've seen for the past 6 months, which was anytime President Trump has wanted to get something done in Congress, even with people opposing it, almost every time he has been able to strong arm something through the Senate, through the House that he wanted to get done in terms of his agenda.
Facts. Yes, Donald Trump took those 4 years that he was in office and had all that turmoil and went back and said, okay, we need to strategize again. We need a game plan. I'm so glad. I'm actually glad that he lost. Okay. I'm actually glad because it allowed the American people to see what stupid people look like. Okay. With Sleepy Joe and Kamala. Okay. It allowed that. And it also allowed Donald Trump to sit back outside of Washington and create a strategy because that man has a strategy. So, and I picked up on that. So everybody, you know, every time something comes up, they're like, do you think this is going to pass? I'm not even worried. I'm not worried. When the Iran thing came up, I wasn't worried Like that man has strategized to a T. It's almost like once you get a peek behind the veil, you can now go back and play chess. He played checkers at first. That man is playing chess at a high level right now. So I agree for once with CNN. All right. I don't know who this lady is, but she's definitely not on the regular payroll because they don't ever tell the truth. All right. So with that being said, I want to get into CNN's regular crew and their meltdown. And their meltdown is because CNN absolutely had to say that Donald Trump is on a high. And when I say on a high, I mean on a high. Okay. But before I get into that, as always, I have to stop the show to recognize my people. And thank you guys very, very, very much for sending super chats. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Executive Suite. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Keep up the good work. Loving the growth. See you on After Hours. Yes, see me on After Hours for like 5 hours into the wee hours of the morning. Yeah, that's where I'm going. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. I love it though. We have fun over there, and we have fun over here. So thank you guys for super chatting. I appreciate it. No more excuses. Thank you so much. $49.99. Here to support. Hope you have a wonderful day. Thank you. I did. I had a great day. And it's been a great week. It's been a great month. It's a great start to July, in my personal life, in politics, because my guy is winning. All right. And with you guys, because I am finally at 13,000. Okay. So everything is going good. Everything is great. I appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. And my girl Kelly, thank you, girl, for the $4.99. Congratulations on the 13K. Thank you. Well deserved. Free 2K. Yes, free 2K. Free my homie 2K. Okay. And if you guys want to get the scoop on what happened with 2K, go over to the Don't Piss Me Off Morning Show. Okay. They had a blogger break everything down. All right. But free 2K. He's such a nice man. Okay. And I hate to see all that happen to my homies. I really do. All right, you guys. So let's move on to this part really quick. So I want to move on to, like I said, the media and their meltdown, because the media, for some reason, they just don't like the fact that Donald Trump is having all these highs and wins, but they have to report it or they're going to seem biased, as if they're not already biased. However, it was the person that CNN decided to bring on, which is a scammer, in my opinion, her and Hillary Clinton. However, the person they decided to bring on to talk about this just looked so disgusted when she had to bring up the fact that Donald Trump is winning, especially with the big, beautiful bill. So I want you guys to get into this. All right, here we go.
Here are some things that have happened. Gas prices down. Economic indicators are decent. Brand new jobs report shows that's much better than expected. And border crossings are down. And now Trump's mega spending bill looks like it's going to be passed by Republicans. How do you Democrats fight back with the wins that Trump can tout?
Tell us.
Well, it depends on how you define win, Sarah. I mean, the way I can summarize this big ugly bill best is Republicans caved, Trump lied, and people will die. This bill
hold up. Trump caved, people will lie. No, Trump caved, Republicans lied, and people will die. That is a soundbite for you. That is a soundbite for you right there. Trump caved. She's speaking on the tariffs, okay? And Donald Trump did not cave. Donald Trump negotiated. You start high and you get somewhere in the middle. That's not caving. That's negotiating. But Democrats don't know how to do that. All they know how to do is tax people to death. Okay? They're in a budget deficit, they tax people to death. But that is a heck of a line right there. Trump cave, Republicans lie, and people die. Awful.
17 million people off of their health care. That's people who are on Medicaid, who are extremely vulnerable, like veterans and the elderly, the disabled, and children. We're talking about the largest cuts to nutrition assistance, meaning people are going to go hungry. 4 million people lose their nutrition assistance, 31,000 in my district alone. You have 70,000 who will lose Medicaid. This is a bill that is going to cause tremendous pain, and it is incredibly unpopular with the public because they don't want their government to actually take away things that ensure that they can remain healthy and safe, and that their families can be cared for, and that they can have a middle-class lifestyle. This bill is all in service to taking care of the wealthiest, most fortunate Americans. It explodes the deficit, and it raises the debt ceiling by $5 trillion to give tax breaks to the wealthy. That jobs report you just mentioned, the overwhelming majority of those jobs are actually government jobs and education jobs that look to be more like substitute teachers. There are really not many jobs in that jobs report that they can point to that are in the private market. So it's a hollow jobs report, and you're going to see over the next year and a half the incredible pain that this big ugly bill will cost people. And we are on the House floor behind our Democratic leader, Hakeem Jeffries, to make sure people know just what's in it, because the Republicans are doing this, again, in the dead of night when people don't know what's going on.
Okay. Debbie, what is her name? Wasserman? Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Okay. That woman has always irritated my spirit. All right. For the life of me, I don't understand her perm. Okay. Her perm never quite curled. It's like a noodle. It's like a ramen noodle. It's like wavy, but it's not really. It's curly, but it's not really curled. She needs some perm rods or something, because it's not giving. However, here's the thing that gets on my nerves, because Jeffrey stood there that entire time and he didn't explain anything. He just accused Donald Trump of whatever. He didn't explain anything, absolutely nothing. Okay. So that's one thing. Two, she's talking about, okay, well, it's not really a jobs. There's no jobs. There's not really any jobs. Ma'am, did you see the jobs report? Okay. Like, did you see it? And the government jobs that she's talking about, they're not federal jobs, okay? Because Trump got rid of those, okay? They are local and state government. That means that there's growth there, okay? So that's within the state's budget, not federally. I'm fine with that. I don't want any more of my federal money going to jobs that people don't even answer the phone at anyway, okay? You call somebody, they don't answer the phone. I don't even know why they have a line. However, that's what she's talking about, but she's trying to make it sound like it's federal. And then to say that you don't need substitute teachers. Have you seen these classrooms? It's like 50 million kids in there, okay? Some who, I'm telling you, should be in smaller classrooms. I'm gonna just say that. Very small classrooms. And with that being said, those teachers need help. So why not? You're not paying the teachers, so the teachers don't want to come to work. Get some substitute teachers and be able to pay them well, so they actually do more than just hand out, little pamphlets. What's the problem with teachers? Democrats always step on their own message, because I thought teachers were important. Now they're not important. Yeah. Okay. So with that being said, Debbie Wasserman, she brought up the jobs report, right? Okay, cool. Let's actually look at the jobs numbers, okay? Let's keep it at CNN, because the liberals like to say, well, Fox doesn't tell you the truth. They don't want to show you the actual facts. Okay, well, here is the liberals having to come to terms with the actual facts. Here we go.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sarah, it is. Look, this jobs market is like the Energizer Bunny. Every single time we expect it to run out of steam, it just keeps going and going. So these new numbers show that the U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy number. This is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
That's right. Little Marco Rubio there. He told you. Okay. Okay. Papi Chulo told you. We expecting nada. We got mucho. Okay. We got a lot. We got a whole lot. And that's why what Debbie was just saying on the clip before made absolutely no sense. Okay. They were all the, economists that swear that Donald Trump's terrorists, oh my God, everything is going to die. It's so bad. They saw this jobs number and said, oh my God, because they were expecting anywhere between like 90, maybe 100. They got 147 new jobs. 147. Okay. Unemployment. Oh my God. People are going to lose their jobs. They're not going to be able to survive under Donald Trump. It goes down. Didn't go up. It went down. Okay. And just to, elaborate on that even more, what I don't even have on the screen, inflation is still very low. Okay. I don't think the Fed's going to change the rates because he don't like Trump. But inflation is still very low. We're making money from the tariffs, okay? And they're not even adding that into, all the budgetary things. But we're making money from that. The stock market is up. Innovation is up. People are actually coming back to the United States. What more could you ask for? The more is, now you got more in your tax credits, okay? Small businesses can write off more now than they could before. You people that like to claim everybody's kids, well, now you're going to get more in the child tax credits, okay? So make sure you give the kid who it really is more money this time, all right? Gas is low, okay? For the first time in a long time, I don't feel like I'm in California. All right. Everything is good. And they don't want to give it to Donald Trump. They just don't. Okay. Like if Joe Biden had did something, if Joe Biden had did something that, was very good for the country, I would have told you. I would have told you. I'm not that biased. I have a bias. I don't like Democrats like that. Maybe not at all. However, if they do something that I agree with, I will let you know. Okay. I told you I loved Barack Obama's immigration policies until DACA. But other than that, I thought they were good. I'm glad Trump kept them. Okay. However, nothing. I haven't seen anything good from a Democrat. Not on a state level. I live in a Democratic state, meaning everything here is Democrat. It's not one Republican here. So everything that happens bad is on Democrats, but they'll still blame Donald Trump. Westmore is blaming Donald Trump right now. He's like, oh my God, this bill is going to be so bad for the Maryland economy. No, you're bad for the Maryland economy. Okay. Maryland is just like his head. Bald. He done shaved us bald. We don't have any money. We're $3 billion in debt when we were up $5 billion. When Hogan, the Republican governor, was in. So at the end of the day, Democrats, they got to admit we're winning. And this bill that just passed, even though there are things in it, I wish they could have cut more. But because we got those ratchet Democrats, okay, who can't run on anything but illegals, we didn't get everything. But we got the majority. We got enough. Okay. So I really do think that this is going to be pivotal for Donald Trump's legacy. I really do. So You guys, let me know what you think about the big, beautiful bill. I wanted you guys to see all of that nonsense, good, bad, and the ugly. Crockett. I wanted you to see all of that because at the end of the day, we have to see what we're getting into. All right. I don't care if I like Donald Trump. I wanted to see the bill. I was happy when Chuck Schumer said, hey, we're going to read the whole thing. Read the whole damn thing. Read it. I'm here for it. That's what you should be doing because y'all don't read it in the first place. So read it. I was proud. Loved it. Couldn't be better. So you guys, let me know what you think about that. Let me know what you think about CNN having to admit that Donald Trump's economy is going up. Didn't we just hear TEMU Obama say, oh, he was saying the economy. He hasn't done anything for the economy. He's doing things for the wealthy. What about the rest of the people? Jobs are up. Jobs are up. Unemployment is down. You can get a job, which is the reason why you don't need all that SNAP, because you can get a job. Jobs are out here. You just got to get up. Understood. Let me know what you think about AOC, out on the steps, like she's standing at the dock of the bay, talking about, Donald Trump and how this is going to hurt all the illegals in her neighborhood. Okay. But she'll be all right because Madami is going to help her out when he wins. Okay. All those crazy people in New York voting for Madami. All right. But she'll be fine. She's not losing a seat. Trust me. So let me know what you think about AOC. Let me know what you think about Hakeem Jeffries standing there for 8 hours, 41 minutes, and 27 seconds. Let me know what you think about that. And let me know what you think about the big, beautiful bill. Do you like it? Are you glad that it passed? Let me know what you think about it, you guys. All right. Let me go ahead and read some of these last super chats here. Showcase Classics. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Excellent content, Mika. I appreciate that. Thank you. I really do appreciate when you guys, come in, watch, and I really appreciate when you do super chat because you don't have to. So thank you so much. I do appreciate that. Okay, hold on. Let me get it. Alif Lam Mim. Alif Lam Mim. I think I got it right. Chat, let me know. Happy 4th, everyone. Love you, Mika. Always representing for the DMV. Yes, indeed. The big, beautiful bill is on his way. Tell him. And thank you. And I hope I got your name right. I appreciate it. I was trying. I tried my hardest. And thank you so much for sending the super chat. I appreciate it. Yeah, that big, beautiful bill is coming. And last but not least, we have Executive Suite. Thank you so much for the $5 super chat. Great meeting you in DC. Next time, we'll get a cigar, smoke a cigar, and blow smoke at the Dems. I was just happy that it didn't smell like weed smoke that day. Okay. Because DC is a very liberal city. They smoke weed everywhere. And I just be like, oh my God, I got a headache. So a cigar is definitely warranted. And thank you so much for the cigar. I appreciate it. What's good, chat? Let's hit the like button. Indeed. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Thank you to everyone who pulled up, supporting. I appreciate you guys. So it is the end. And as always, I want to go ahead and pick a random name. So, sorry, you guys. That was my phone. I want to go ahead and pick a random name. So let's go ahead and do that. Oh, I did say it right. Okay. Thank you. All right, you guys. On the count of 3, I'm going to pull it up. Let me spin this here. 1, 2, 3. Trying to get it to spin on my end. 1, 2, 3. I have no more excuses. Oh, wow. Okay. So no more excuses. I have you up. Are you still in the chat? Are you still in the chat? No more excuses. If you're still in the chat, let me know. You guys see him? No more excuses. That's what's up. And thank you for the super chat today. I really do appreciate it. No more. Yeah. Okay. Great. All right. So go on my main the main page. Okay, the main YouTube page, and my email is there. Email me your well, whatever, I guess, address you want me to send it to. Okay. Whatever address you would like me to send this mug to. And also email if you want me to write my own message or if there's something particular that you would like on it. Okay. Let me know. But thank you again for pulling up today. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the super chat. All right. I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys. But thank you. No more excuses. And let me know. Definitely let me know where you want me to send it to. So all you got to do is just email me. Okay. So don't forget. Email me all your information, your name, your real name, the email, and what you want me to put on the cup. All right. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. And last super chat here, Double Jeopardy 199. Thank you so much for the super chat, Double Jeopardy. Mika from the AD channel. Yes, it's me. Mika from the AD channel. Thank you so much for the super chat. I appreciate it. Thank you for pulling up. I appreciate all of you guys. All right. So you guys, that is my time. I appreciate you. I appreciate everyone that pulled up in the chat. I appreciate everyone that super chatted today, that did a like, that doesn't even talk, because I look at the numbers sometimes. I look up and I'm like, some of y'all don't talk, but it doesn't matter. Thank you for pulling up. I appreciate every last one of y'all. Thank you, loud and clear. Thank you, Danny. Thank you, Nick, Jay. Thank you, Katrina. Thank you, Trice. Thank you, Donna. Donna always supporting. Oh, thank you, Mike That Dude on Cash App. I appreciate you. I always forget Cash App, but thank you so much. Thank you, William Jackson. Thank you, King. Thank you, No More Excuses. I really do appreciate it. Thank you, Kate Cooper. Thank you, I Am. Thank you, Double Jeopardy. Thank you, Magnetar. Thank you, Your Car. Thank you, Big Happy. Thank you, Isaiah. Quick Fix. Thank you, Joel. Got That Flavor. J. Ben. William. Dwayne. Kate Cooper. Hey, girl. Tech Des. Hey. Dwayne. I think I said it, but if I didn't, thank you. Who else? Tony. Thank you. Andrea, War Peace. Azrael, thank you. Molly, thank you, hun. Kelly, thank you, girl. Who else? Eric OG, thank you. Eric Watson, thank you. Who else? Let's see. I think I said Azrael, but thank you, Azrael. Thank you, Show Dragon. Thank you, MLE. I appreciate you. And thank you for the cigar again. Let's see who else. Trace, thank you. I said Executive Suite MLE, thank you. Big Happy, thank you. I think I got a lot of y'all. I think so. I think I got a lot of y'all. If I missed your name, I am absolutely sorry. But I think I got most of y'all. Amber, thank you. Alif Lam Mim. Thank you. I'm trying to get it. If I say it wrong, correct me. Lewis Taylor, thank you. I appreciate you. Who else? Triple Skrilla, thank you. I appreciate you. I think I might. Showcase Classics, thank you so much. I appreciate it. And thank you for the super chat. Larry Walker, Critical Thinking, Tyrone, thank you all. I appreciate you guys. William Jackson. I think I got most of you guys. AJ Wise. Yeah, I think I got most of you guys. Thank you so much for everyone that pulled up. Thank you for the super chats. And again, make sure you send me your information for the mug, okay? Make sure you send it to me. You guys, thank you so much for pulling up. I had fun. The big, beautiful bill, I think, is going to be a great piece of legislation, especially for people who like to go get it, okay? Because we like to go get it over here. Thank you so much for pulling up. I appreciate everyone in the chat. I appreciate everyone who just watch, and I appreciate everyone who supports the platform. It's your girl, Mika, and I'm out.